It's art day! Whoop whoop! Hope you guys are excited! Today we are going to learn about one of my favorite artists, Vincent van Gogh. So some things about Vincent van Gogh. He was born on March 30, 1853 in the Netherlands. He died July 29, 1980 in France. He started painting when he was 27 years old and he taught himself. So he tried many other jobs first. He tried to be a teacher, an art dealer, that's somebody that sells art, a preacher, and a librarian, but none of those jobs worked out. After he decided he wanted to be a painter, that was all he did. He constantly was painting pictures. Let's take a look at a couple paintings that he made. First, he only sold one painting in his lifetime. This was called the Red Vineyard. He also loved to paint sunflowers. He has many paintings of sunflowers. You might recognize this painting that he created. It's also shown in our art room because I made a duplicate of this when I was in high school. His paintings are filled with short lines. This is a new style that he came up with called Impressionism. See if you can spot the short lines in all of his paintings. Probably one of the most well-known facts about Vincent van Gogh was that he didn't know how to control his anger, and one day he got really mad and cut part of his ear off. So that's kind of a crazy fact that you can remember about Vincent van Gogh. Here's the last painting that he made before he passed away. He maybe wasn't a very well-known artist while he was alive, and he maybe wasn't an artist for a lot of years, but he had a very, very famous remembrance thanks to his brother Theo. His brother Theo was an art dealer, and after Vincent died, he traveled all around showing Vincent's artwork to different people, and people started to really love his style and purchase his artworks. Now his artworks, many of them are in museums, and many of them are worth millions of dollars. Let's take a look at one of his most famous paintings. This one's called Starry Night. Everybody loved the different lines in the background, and it kind of shows like his sky is moving. This is one of the most famous paintings in the world, and he became one of the most famous artists. When we create our Vincent van Gogh cities, I thought it might be a fun idea to give you a choice of materials for this project. So I'm going to show you a few different examples. The first one is using oil pastels on paper. The second one is using tin foil and then using paint and Q-tips over top. The third one is painting and then using a fork to scrape the designs in. And then this one is using crayons and watercolor paint. And then the one that I'm going to show you right now is how to use crayons and markers with a Q-tip. So to begin this drawing, I'm drawing 3 shorter, smaller buildings on the very bottom of my paper so that they look like they are in the foreground or in the front. Then out of the top of them, I am going to start drawing taller buildings so it looks like they're behind there, and I can fill my whole skyline with buildings. I use a Sharpie to outline my buildings, but you would not have to do this step if you don't have a Sharpie at home. Once I'm done Sharpieing my skyline and adding my windows, I go ahead and I start filling in my buildings with color. So I color in my windows so that it looks like some of them have lights on and some of them don't have lights, since it's kind of a nighttime picture. And then I fill in my buildings with like a black color. I do it a little bit lighter just because I'm not using a Sharpie, but it is going to be a silhouette picture. You could also use crayons with this part. Since we're going to use crayons for the sky, it might be easier just to cut down on one supply. Once you're done coloring in your buildings, you will want to grab a yellow and blue crayon. We're going to use the yellow crayon and color waxy. What I mean by that is color dark so that your paper feels a little waxy where you drew with your crayons. We are going to try to make a moon and some stars in our background. And if you notice, I'm using all short little lines to go around the outside of my stars, just like Vincent van Gogh uses short lines. After I'm done with my stars, I'm going to grab my blue crayon and I'm going to just make a wavy line that goes through my sky with a few swirls on it, so that those are kind of like guidelines for where I'm going to make my dashed line with my blue crayon. So I'm going to fill in my space with my blue crayon and lots of dashed lines right now. Make sure that you are still pushing down hard so that it is a waxy line with your blue crayon. If you don't have a blue marker right now, you could stop at this step. If you have a blue marker at home, this will be kind of a cool effect where you fill in your whole sky with a washable blue marker, lots of short lines, and then later on we're going to add some water to make it look like a painted sky. Once you've filled up your whole paper with short blue lines with crayon and marker, you can go ahead and get a cup of water and either a paintbrush or a Q-tip. So since the blue marker is a washable marker, when you add water to it, the blue marker moves around and smears around like watercolor paint while the crayon lines stay put. This method is called wax resist. Don't forget to post a picture of your finished project on Seesaw. Hope you have a good day.